Hello, my name is Susan Ashley, and I'd like to talk to you today a little bit more in depth about the subject of dimensional realities. In my previous video, I described the 5 dimensions very simplistically, and now I'd like to go a little bit deeper and to help you to understand how you can get stuck in those realities, and that may be able to help you to move up into the 5th dimension of unity consciousness, which is about triality. So triality means male, female, and a third component, doesn't it? Yeah. So when you look at religions, you often see this, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. That's all on the male side. It's completely wrong, and it doesn't give you access to unity. So I really don't like saying that something's completely wrong, but in this case, I really need to. And in order to move into the 5th, you need to understand the equality between man and woman. And that doesn't mean that women become men and men become women and we're taking men's jobs and they're taking our roles in the home and they're becoming lady boys and not able to invite you out for dinner or pay for a meal or actively help around the house. These are all 3D paradigms assisting you to stay separate. And that's what 3D does. In order for 3D and 4D to survive, it must keep the reality of separation present. So 4D is, I said it's psychic, it's energetic. So that's why when you moved from 3D to 4D, people started realizing, oh my God, I'm getting psychic attack. Oh my God, somebody's thinking badly about me. Oh my God, I'm feeling this. You're doing this to me. All of this stuff started to become very real and very palpable because the frequency allowed us to be in contact with the duality of energy. Now, in unity, energy is just energy. It's the same in 3D and 4D, but it's how you use it that defines whether it's good or bad. So energy is a light form, let's say, and it is directed by your thoughts or your feelings. So let's go into that a little bit. In the 3rd and the 4th, remember there's dualities. So there's electric and magnetic. Electric, you could say, is your thoughts. It's action. It's male. Magnetic is receptive. It pulls things into you. It's female. The biggest problem on the planet at the moment is the confusion about the male and the female roles. And I can tell you that if you came in as a male, you came in to understand action, giving, honesty, integrity, protection, provision, truth. You came in to represent that frequency because you chose to do it, right? It wasn't a mistake. You chose to come into a lifetime as a male to represent that energy. If you chose to come in as a female, you chose to come in and operate mostly off your magnetic aspect, receptive, right? So that is compassion, understanding, healing, creating atmospheres, that nurturing, creativity in the sense of bringing things into manifestation, receptive, receiving ideas, inspiration, visions, hearing. She's if you like, the answer to a lot of things comes through women. The perception of what is needed comes through women. It was a woman who actually created the concept of money originally, but I'll go into that in another video. So if you look at the male and the female, we're very confused. And this is creating separation. So you've got women have gone into their masculine, men have gone into their feminine. Nobody likes anybody because they're not doing what they're meant to be doing. Intrinsically, if you actually, as a woman, if you're in your masculine and you're giving to a man, you push him to be in his feminine. So he goes into receptive mode, and then you get angry because he doesn't do anything. So I am actually writing a book about all of this, so I will bring it out to help you to really understand it. But really, in the 3D and 4D, the male and the female, the positive and the negative is what's battling. Okay? Now, let's take it a step further. If we look at 5D, the principle of that is unity. So it's male, female, and the third component, which is Holy Ghost, it's spirit. So it's understanding that you and I are equals. And that doesn't mean equals in the ability to chop wood or fix a car or cook. It means that you and I both have a role, the man and the woman, they both have a role, and both these roles are considered valuable, and gee, I'm having a mind freeze. Normally I'm really good at explaining this sort of stuff. They're both considered to be valuable, right? So your idea is valuable. I'm going to put it into practice. Ooh, your skills are really good. I'm acknowledging that that can help me and support me. So you're supporting and helping each other for the common goal. There is no separation. Now, a lot of people may be thinking, oh, okay, so we get to the fifth and there's no more male and female. That's not true. They still exist, but they just understand that they're both valuable. They both need to be heard. They both need to create an impact. If you look at countries where there's war, where there's famine, they're all countries where the feminine principle is hidden or not allowed to be in sight. Yeah, you're not allowed to see me. I'm of no value whatsoever. When you think about what the female brings to a man, how many women can say that they have supported the men around them, whether it's their son, their husband, their father, their brother, their friend, to achieve what they wanted to achieve? They've encouraged them, helped them with their confidence, supported them from behind. How many women can say that? And how many men can say that if it wasn't for the woman, their mother, their sister, their lover, if it wasn't for the woman that helped them, they wouldn't be where they are today? This is very valid. And I'm not saying that's the only woman's role, but what I'm saying is understand her value. Appreciate it. Acknowledge it. If you were to listen to women within the community at large, within the government systems, and I'm talking women in their feminine principle, not in their male, we wouldn't have war. We wouldn't have famine. We wouldn't have crimes, actually. So the reason these things are not in balance is because we're all still existing in 3D and 4D, which is separation. And that's why at the moment there is so much separation going on. Your media, and that means all forms of media, have been systematically creating this for decades. Because when men and women come together, they empower each other. When they really come together, they empower each other, they awaken each other. That's why so many are craving for their soulmate, for their twin flame. They're craving it because they know the key to their own empowerment is unlocked through coming together. So all this media, your government systems, education systems, everything, it's all geared towards separation so that the mind and the reality of the mind can continue. When you look at religion, it's all about separation. Oh, talk to me. I'll talk to God on your behalf. I'll forgive you on the behalf of God. And it's all, unfortunately, patriarchal. Where's the feminine? So if you want to go into unity consciousness, you have to look at the masculine and the feminine and honor that in yourself. Understand what that means to be a woman. Understand what it means to be a man. And honor it in yourself. Yes, you are both parts. The lower chakras are masculine, the upper chakras are feminine, and the heart is both coming together. It's unity. So you need to put that in regards to yourself. So let's talk about the 3D, the mindscape. In 3D, we have a lot of mental beliefs that create realities, and it's the biggest reality on the earth is 3D, because it's all created by the mind. And we're all told the mind is the most amazing thing. Okay, so remember, electric, magnetic. So the mind is electric, isn't it? The thought goes out, it focuses on what it wants, and it brings it into the physical, into reality. Okay? Now, in 2012, when 5D started to come, it's coming, whether you like it or not. You can kick and scream, you can do whatever you like. You can create a big war against it, but it's coming. So if you want to go in a relaxed manner and really start creating the world that you want, then what's required of you is to go into the understanding that your magnetic aspect of yourself is becoming activated now. So in other words, many of you understand, oh yes, the reason that this is happening to me in my life is because I think this way. It's because my mother and my father acted like this, and I got this belief system, and this trauma happened to me, and this is how I think about this. So I think this way, this is why I'm still in this reality. So we understand, we've analysed it till the cows come home. We've analysed for 20, 30 years, but we've still got the same shit happening. We've still got the same shit happening because now the magnetic field, we're starting to understand that, right? So if you're sending out thoughts and you're going, okay, I'm understanding, I shouldn't be thinking about this, I shouldn't be doing that, I shouldn't be saying that, so I'm very good with my words, I'm doing my affirmations, but I'm still getting the same shit. How can that be? Because your magnetic, which is your emotional and spiritual connection, yeah? So the masculine, yeah, the focus is mind and physical. The feminine is emotion and spirit, or feelings and spirit. Okay? So if we're predominantly working off the masculine in the education system and everything, we're being taught this is how you manifest, this is how you create, this is how you bring things into reality, and it works really well. Why isn't it working well for sensitive souls or empaths? Why isn't it working well for you now? Why all of a sudden is the joy of life gone? Because your magnetic aspect of yourself, the feminine principle, has to come into balance in order for you to go into the fifth. So your magnetic, your ability to receive, your resonance is bringing to you the very situations you've been thinking you don't want. Yeah, it brings it to you. And how it brings it to you is because your images, the pre-verbal stage of your life or the pre-analytical stage where everything is going in through images and thought, but you're not able to have a reasoning mind, those images create imprints in your energetic system, which are what I call energy resonance. And they send out a signal to the planet, and they draw to you the very thing that you have witnessed. So it's really, really important to now look at the images that you're carrying. And I'd like to point out too, we had a period there for about, there was a huge rush a few years ago on these signs that said, eat, pray, love, believe, bring, happiness, joy, and all of these things. And that was because the images, and we all went crazy for it, the images that we were receiving for so many decades were so negative that we needed to pull in all this positive stuff to start changing what we were seeing into reality. Because reality, in order to create reality, we need two sides. Look, I could talk about this for hours, but I'm not going to. I just really wanted to explain that aspect to you. So what's happening is your magnetic field is pulling to you to waken up the feminine, what you believe you're entitled to, what you have seen as the truth. I'll just give you another explanation. So, say for instance, you're really young and you grow up and you see that all the relationships that you're in, you never really talk. You never really do anything together. You're like two separate people. Even though there's a feeling of love and there's stability and safety and security financially, and you kind of like the same things, but you don't really talk. Yeah? If you go back to when you were a child, you might see that the interaction that your parents had was that they didn't really talk. That dad actually controlled mum, or mum controlled dad. It happens both ways. And so there wasn't a lot of light interaction going on. There wasn't a lot of communication going on. And so your vision, your senses see, this is how men and women relate to each other. This is what happens when you get married. This is what happens when you're in a relationship. So even though your mind says, I understand that, you still keep creating the same thing over and over again. Because what you witness, the image, the emotional resonance is still residing in your body somewhere. So it's very important to release that. There are techniques you can use to release that, by the way. So it's not that difficult. And actually, when you go into the emotional aspect of any dimension, it's much smaller than the mental plane of existence within that dimension. I don't fully understand why that is. I think it's possibly because we've put so much emphasis on the mind and what we think. So if you want to go into unity consciousness, you have to get into balance. And your governments, your media, they're all interconnected. Religion, government, medical, education, and finances are all working together to keep you separate so they keep in power. They don't know how they can maintain their power and their profit in 5D. So they're invested in it. Turn off your TV, don't listen to the news, get informed through other ways, and start to really feel yourself every day. So feel the sort of life that you want to live in. If you're a lot of people are feeling anxiety and depression at the moment. How is this possible? 20 years ago, you rarely heard of it. How is that possible? It's been created. So you need to find ways in which you can uncreate that in yourself. And part of the reason that you feel it is because you feel that there's nothing anchoring you. There's no connection. And you're feeling no connection because you're disconnected. Your mind is connected. Your third eye is connected constantly to the computer, to the iPhone. It's all that you've become all about the mind. Get into nature. Go to a zoo, look at some animals. Go to a friend who's got pets. Hang around with them, hang around with little kids. That's how you go into your heart. Listen to beautiful music. One of the ways that I actually go into my heart is I sit and I actually feel my heart. I breathe in, I take my eyes down to where my heart is, and I breathe, and I start to expand my heart through my breathing. Now, I've been meditating for many, many years, so I can literally turn my head off like that, have no thoughts. That takes training. So I can easily do that, but some people, you know, their minds are so heavily turned on, they can't turn them off. So you've got to find ways in which to turn your mind off. And one of them can be music, can be humming. So when you go into your heart, you just hum. You hum for a minute, you hum, you take yourself into your heart. And then you start to imagine that you're expanding your energy out from your heart. So as you're breathing in, you're taking in light or oxygen. And as you're breathing out, you're expanding it out from your heart. And you're just expanding that. You're just focusing on that. Because the reality is, in the fifth, you are now manifesting from moment to moment. And you need to be in the present moment. If you're in the past or the future, you're not empowered. I'll actually save that for another video, I think. I think I've talked too long now. So I hope that helps you to understand what's going on and how you get trapped in 3D and 4D, because you're getting trapped in this psychic, oh my goodness, what's going on, us and them. You're actually all one. Darkness exists. That's a big problem that a lot of New Agers, you know, they think, oh, if I don't think about the dark, it doesn't exist. It only exists in your reality if you let it exist in your reality. It exists in the third and the fourth. It exists. And every time you avoid it, you're locking yourself out from the truth. When you lock yourself out from the truth, you can't go past it. If you're in denial that you're an alcoholic or a drug addict, how are you going to heal it? How are you going to get out of the third and the fourth if you're not willing to acknowledge what's in the third and the fourth? It's all duality, honey. That's what it is. That's what it's made of. It doesn't mean you have to go crazy and go mad about what's going on. I'll do another video on that. Gee, there's a lot to talk about today. Okay, well, I'm going to sign off now because I can keep going and going and going, and hopefully that's helped you a little bit more. Have a great day, and I hope to hear from you all soon. If you'd like to learn more about me, you can go to my website, lovelightandtruth.com. You can also subscribe to this video so that you'll hear more of these videos. And if you'd like to ask me a question, please do. Have a fantastic day and create an awesome life. Bye.